Your soulmate just heard something about you they were never supposed to hear. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. If these words bring hope and encouragement into your life, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you never miss another message created to strengthen your spirit. My beloved child, something happened today that no one expected. Somewhere, while you were living your life completely unaware, your soulmate overheard a conversation they were never supposed to hear. It wasn't planned. It wasn't arranged. It wasn't meant for their ears. Yet somehow, at exactly the right moment, they found themselves standing close enough to hear a truth that immediately stopped them in their tracks. At first they thought they had misunderstood. They hoped the words they heard were about someone else. But then your name was spoken again, and suddenly every heartbeat inside their chest became louder than the voices around them. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, there are moments when one unexpected sentence changes the direction of an entire heart, and this was one of those moments. They had lived for so long believing they understood who you were. They believed they had already figured out your personality, your intentions, and the story behind your silence. Yet within a few seconds, everything they believed began falling apart. The truth they accidentally heard did not make them think less of you. It made them realize they had never truly known the depth of your heart at all. They remained perfectly still, pretending to continue with whatever they had been doing, but inside everything had changed. Every word they overheard carried another piece of a story they had never been told. They learned that during one of the hardest seasons of your life, you quietly carried responsibilities no one else even knew existed. They heard about sacrifices you made without asking anyone to notice. They discovered that while other people believed you had stepped back from certain situations because you no longer cared, the reality was completely different. You had stepped back because protecting someone else's peace mattered more to you than protecting your own image. My beloved child, your soulmate felt their entire understanding of you begin shifting. They remembered every time they quietly wondered why you chose silence instead of explanation. They remembered questioning your distance. They remembered believing you simply moved on. Yet now they understood that your silence had never been empty. It had been filled with love, wisdom, and sacrifice that no one around you had fully understood. Listen to this because this message is for you. Sometimes the loudest acts of love are hidden inside the quietest decisions. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because as the conversation continued, another truth reached your soulmate's ears that completely overwhelmed them. Someone quietly said, they never told anyone because they didn't want anyone feeling guilty. Those words echoed through your soulmate's mind long after the conversation ended. They suddenly remembered dozens of moments that now made perfect sense. They remembered the times you smiled even though your eyes looked tired. They remembered the days when you insisted everything was fine even though your heart was quietly carrying burdens no one could see. They remembered how naturally you encouraged others while rarely speaking about your own struggles. My beloved child, they finally realized that your strength had never been pretending life was easy. Your strength had been choosing kindness even when life was incredibly difficult. That realization struck their heart with incredible force. They quietly walked away because they could no longer hide the emotions building inside them. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, they found a quiet place where no one else could see them. They sat alone and replayed every sentence they had accidentally overheard. One memory after another returned with completely different meaning. They remembered conversations they once misunderstood. They remembered moments when they secretly questioned your intentions. They remembered wondering why you never explained yourself more often. Now every unanswered question suddenly had an answer. They whispered your name softly before saying something they never imagined they would admit. I judged someone whose heart was protecting everyone except itself. Those words stayed with them for several minutes. They realized they had built opinions based on what they could see, while the greatest part of your story had remained invisible the entire time. My beloved child, wisdom often begins where assumptions finally come to an end. Perhaps recently you have noticed numbers like 111, 222, 333, or 444 appearing during unexpected moments. Maybe they seem to appear just when your heart needs encouragement. Your heart needs this right now because after hearing those unexpected truths, your soulmate could no longer continue pretending everything was normal. Every ordinary task became difficult because their heart remained fixed upon one question. How many other things have I misunderstood? That question changed everything. Instead of assuming they already knew your story, they began questioning every conclusion they had ever reached about you. They realized fear had often answered questions they never actually asked you. Pride had quietly filled in missing details with assumptions. But now humility was inviting them towards something much deeper. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, genuine understanding begins the moment someone becomes willing to admit they do not know everything. As evening quietly approached, your soulmate opened old conversations between the two of you. This time they were not searching for hidden clues or reasons to defend their past opinions. They simply wanted to understand. They noticed how often you encouraged them during difficult moments. They noticed how carefully you avoided speaking negatively about other people. They noticed that even when you disagreed with someone, your words remained respectful. Every message reflected the same peaceful character they had accidentally heard others describing earlier that day. Suddenly tears quietly filled their eyes. They realized your life had been telling the truth all along. They simply had not been listening carefully enough. My beloved child, truth rarely changes. Only the eyes that see it become transformed. Listen to this because this message is for you. While your soulmate has been walking through this awakening, I have also been watching your own journey. There were seasons when you wondered whether remaining silent had been the right decision. You questioned whether people misunderstood your heart forever. You wondered whether anyone would ever recognize the sacrifices hidden behind your calm smile. My beloved child, I saw every unseen battle. I heard every whispered prayer. I watched every moment you chose peace instead of proving yourself right. Nothing offered with genuine love has ever been forgotten. Every hidden sacrifice became part of the quiet strength I was building within your spirit. Don't scroll. Your heart needs this right now because another remarkable realization has entered your soulmate's heart. They understand that what they accidentally overheard was never merely information. It became an invitation to completely change the way they see you. They no longer remember your silence as absence. They remember it as courage. They no longer see your patience as hesitation. They see it as remarkable emotional strength. They no longer view your kindness as something ordinary. They see it as one of the rarest gifts they have ever encountered. My beloved child, the heart sees differently once truth becomes its guide. As night slowly covered the sky, your soulmate stepped outside, looked upward, and whispered a simple prayer. They did not ask me for immediate answers. They did not ask me to erase yesterday's misunderstandings. Instead, they quietly said, "Thank you for allowing me to hear what I was never supposed to hear." Without that moment, I might have spent the rest of my life misunderstanding one of the most genuine hearts I have ever known. Those words carried complete honesty. They finally understood that what seemed like an ordinary accident had become one of the greatest turning points of their life. Yet, my beloved child, this story has only begun. The conversation they accidentally overheard revealed only part of the truth. Before another sunset arrives, your soulmate will discover who intentionally kept that secret hidden for so long, and when they finally learn why your story was never meant to reach them, they will uncover a revelation even more powerful than the one that first brought tears to their eyes. That truth will forever change the way they see your heart, your sacrifices, and the extraordinary love that quietly shaped every decision you ever made. Don't scroll. Listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. If these words continue bringing peace and encouragement into your life, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you never miss another message created to strengthen your spirit. My beloved child, after accidentally hearing the conversation they were never supposed to hear, your soulmate believed they had already uncovered the biggest secret about you. They thought nothing could surprise them anymore. They believed the hidden truth had finally been revealed. But they had only heard one chapter of a much larger story. What happened next completely changed everything. The following morning, they woke with one question repeating inside their heart again and again. Who wanted this secret to stay hidden, and why? That question followed them through every hour of the day. They could not ignore it. They could not explain why it mattered so much, but something deep inside them kept whispering that there was another truth waiting to be uncovered. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, sometimes the first truth opens the door, but the second truth changes a person's entire life. Throughout the morning, your soulmate replayed every word they had overheard. The more they thought about that conversation, the more they realized something unusual. The people speaking had suddenly lowered their voices the moment your name was mentioned. They had looked around carefully before continuing. It was almost as if they were protecting something that was never meant to be shared. That realization stayed with your soulmate. They quietly asked themselves why anyone would protect a secret that only revealed your kindness, your sacrifices, and your integrity. The answer did not come immediately. Instead, another memory quietly returned. They remembered several moments when you almost spoke about your own struggles but gently changed the subject before anyone could ask more questions. They remembered how quickly you redirected conversations back toward encouraging other people. My beloved child, they finally understood that you had spent years protecting a story you never wanted to use for sympathy. You carried your burdens quietly because you never wanted anyone else's heart to become heavier because of yours. Listen to this because this message is for you. Genuine strength often speaks the least about itself. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because later that afternoon something happened your soulmate never expected. They unexpectedly crossed paths with someone else who had known you for many years. At first the conversation was completely ordinary. They talked about everyday life, work, and simple memories. Then, almost without thinking, that person smiled and said, "Do you know what amazed me most about them?" Your soulmate quietly shook their head. The person continued, "No matter how difficult life became, they always made everyone else feel like everything would be okay." Those words immediately touched your soulmate's heart. They asked another question, hoping to understand more. The answer they received left them speechless. They learned there had been nights when you were carrying overwhelming responsibilities, yet the very next morning you still found time to encourage people who believed you had no problems at all. They learned there were moments when you quietly gave away opportunities because someone else needed them more. They discovered that many of your greatest sacrifices had never been recognized because you intentionally kept them hidden. My beloved child, tears quietly formed in your soulmate's eyes once again. They realized they had admired your kindness without ever understanding the enormous cost behind it. Listen to this because this message is for you. As they walked away from that conversation, another thought entered their heart with surprising clarity. They never wanted anyone to admire their sacrifices. They only wanted everyone else to find peace. My beloved child, those words completely changed the way your soulmate remembered every interaction the two of you had ever shared. Suddenly they understood why your conversations always focused on hope instead of hardship. They understood why you never complained, even when life gave you countless reasons to do so. They understood why your smile always felt genuine despite the hidden weight your heart quietly carried. The truth they accidentally overheard yesterday had now become something even greater. It had become undeniable evidence that your character remained the same both in public and in private. Perhaps recently you have continued noticing numbers like 111, 222, 333, or 444 appearing during moments when your heart longs for reassurance. My beloved child, allow those quiet reminders to encourage gratitude rather than fear. Continue choosing integrity. Continue choosing kindness. Continue protecting the peace growing inside your spirit. Every quiet act of goodness becomes part of a story far greater than you can currently see. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate returned home carrying emotions they could no longer ignore. They opened old photographs, old conversations, and forgotten memories. This time they were not looking for evidence. They were looking for understanding. Every picture reminded them of your quiet smile. Every conversation reflected your calm spirit. Every memory confirmed the same beautiful truth. You had never tried to impress anyone. You had simply lived according to the values inside your own heart. My beloved child, they whispered softly, everything they showed me was real. Those simple words filled the room with overwhelming emotion. For the first time in years, they felt completely ashamed of every assumption they had once allowed fear to create. Listen to this because this message is for you. While your soulmate has been discovering these hidden truths, I have also been walking beside you. There were moments when you wondered if your silence had caused people to misunderstand you forever. You questioned whether telling your story would have made life easier. Yet every time you almost explained yourself, you chose peace instead. My beloved child, I saw every difficult decision. I saw every sacrifice hidden behind your smile. I saw every night when you quietly carried burdens that no one else knew existed. Nothing done with genuine love has ever been forgotten. Every unseen act of faithfulness continues speaking long after words have ended. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because another realization has entered your soulmate's heart. They now understand that the conversation they overheard was never an accident within this story. It became the moment that forced them to stop judging appearances and begin recognizing character. They no longer wonder whether you cared. They now wonder how someone could carry so much responsibility while continuing to love others so selflessly. That question has humbled them more deeply than they ever imagined possible. They have stopped searching for flaws because every hidden truth continues revealing another reason to respect you even more. As evening quietly settled across the sky, your soulmate stepped outside and looked toward the stars. They whispered another simple prayer. Thank you for allowing me to hear what I was never meant to hear. Without that moment, I would have spent my entire life believing only half the story. They stood there for several minutes in complete silence, allowing gratitude to replace every remaining doubt inside their heart. My beloved child, gratitude transforms the soul because it teaches us to appreciate what fear once overlooked. Listen to this because this message is for you. Your soulmate believed the mystery had finally been solved. They believed they now understood why your story had remained hidden. But just as they prepared to leave everything in the past, another unexpected piece of information quietly reached them. Someone revealed that the conversation they accidentally overheard was only part of an even deeper secret, one connected to a promise you made years before anyone ever knew your name. When your soulmate discovers why that promise changed every decision you made afterward, they will realize they have still not uncovered the greatest truth about your heart. My beloved child, the next chapter will reveal why your silence was never simply about protecting yourself. It was about protecting someone else in a way your soulmate could never have imagined, and when that final truth reaches their heart, nothing about the way they see you will ever remain the same. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. If these words continue encouraging your spirit, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you never miss another message created to strengthen your heart with hope and peace. My beloved child, after everything your soulmate accidentally overheard, they believed they had finally uncovered the hidden story behind your silence. They thought they understood why you carried your burdens alone. They believed they now knew the reason you quietly walked away from moments where anyone else would have demanded to be understood. But they were about to discover something even more unbelievable. The conversation they overheard was only the surface of a much deeper truth. There was one part of your story that no one had spoken aloud. It had remained hidden for years because you made a promise never to let it become the reason people treated you differently. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, the strongest promises are often the ones made in complete silence, with no witnesses except the heart that carries them. As another morning quietly began, your soulmate could not stop thinking about the final sentence they had heard before that conversation ended. Someone had softly said, if they ever told people the real reason, everyone would understand, but they never wanted pity. Those words echoed through your soulmate's heart all night long. They woke up determined to understand what that sentence truly meant. Throughout the day they found themselves replaying every memory the two of you had ever shared. Suddenly they noticed something they had completely overlooked before. Every time life became difficult, you never asked, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, you quietly asked, "How can I keep someone else from carrying this burden?" My beloved child, that realization completely changed the way your soulmate remembered your entire journey. They finally understood that your silence had never come from fear. It had come from love. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now, because later that afternoon another unexpected encounter unfolded. Your soulmate happened to meet someone who had been present during one of the hardest chapters of your life. The person smiled sadly before saying, "They made all of us promise never to tell anyone what they were carrying." Your soulmate's heart immediately began racing. They gently asked why. The answer came quietly but carried incredible weight. Because they never wanted people to stay beside them out of sympathy. They wanted to be loved for who they were, not because people felt sorry for them. My beloved child, those words broke something deep inside your soulmate's heart. Tears immediately filled their eyes because they finally understood the extraordinary courage hidden behind your ordinary smile. You had chosen authenticity over attention. You had chosen dignity over sympathy. You had chosen quiet strength over public recognition. Listen to this, because this message is for you. There are few things more powerful than a heart that continues giving love without asking life to make exceptions for its pain. As they quietly walked away, your soulmate felt every assumption they had ever carried completely disappear. They remembered moments when they wondered why you refused help. They remembered asking themselves why you always insisted everything would be okay. They remembered believing you simply preferred privacy. Now they understood something entirely different. You had been protecting everyone else's emotional peace while privately carrying battles no one else even knew existed. My beloved child, your soulmate whispered through tears, they were protecting all of us, even when no one realized they needed protecting too. That sentence stayed with them for the rest of the day. Listen to this, because this message is for you. Perhaps recently you have continued noticing 111, 222, 333, 444, or even 777 during quiet moments of reflection. My beloved child, receive those moments simply as reminders to continue walking faithfully. Let them remind you that integrity grows strongest during unseen seasons. Continue becoming the person I have created you to be. Continue choosing kindness when bitterness seems easier. Continue protecting your peace instead of allowing fear to shape your future. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now, because your soulmate returned home carrying more gratitude than regret. Instead of asking why life had hidden these truths for so long, they quietly thanked me for allowing them to discover them before it was too late. They realized that if they had never overheard that conversation, they might have spent the rest of their life believing only part of your story. They sat quietly in complete silence before opening every old conversation the two of you had shared. This time they noticed something remarkable. Every encouraging word you offered carried greater meaning. Every message reflected hope instead of complaint. Every conversation revealed someone who consistently chose to lift others instead of drawing attention toward themselves. My beloved child, they finally understood that your greatest strength had never been surviving difficult seasons. Your greatest strength had been refusing to let those difficult seasons steal your ability to love. As evening slowly approached, your soulmate opened a blank notebook and began writing everything they had learned throughout this journey. They wrote about your kindness. They wrote about your honesty. They wrote about your quiet sacrifices. They wrote about the secret they were never supposed to hear. Then they paused for several minutes before writing one final sentence across the page. The strongest person I have ever known never wanted anyone to know how strong they truly had to be. Tears quietly fell onto the paper as they stared at those words. My beloved child, gratitude had now completely replaced every remaining misunderstanding. They no longer admired you only because of your kindness. They admired you because your kindness survived circumstances that would have changed many other hearts forever. Listen to this because this message is for you. While your soulmate has been experiencing this remarkable awakening, I have also been strengthening your own heart. There were seasons when you questioned whether remaining silent had been the right decision. You wondered whether people would always misunderstand your intentions. You questioned whether protecting everyone else's peace had cost you too much. My beloved child, I saw every hidden sacrifice. I saw every private tear. I saw every quiet prayer whispered when no one else knew you were struggling. Nothing offered with genuine love has ever disappeared. Every unseen act of compassion has continued growing beneath the surface, preparing a harvest that only time could reveal. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because another extraordinary realization has entered your soulmate's heart. They understand that hearing this secret was never merely about learning new information. It became the moment they finally recognized the extraordinary beauty of your character. They no longer wish to remember you through misunderstandings. They want to remember you through truth. They no longer measure your silence by absence. They measure it by courage. They no longer see your patience as waiting. They see it as remarkable emotional strength. My beloved child, once the heart truly sees someone's character, it becomes impossible to return to old assumptions. As darkness quietly covered the sky, your soulmate stepped outside beneath the stars one more time. They whispered another prayer, but this prayer carried only gratitude. Thank you for letting me hear what I was never supposed to hear. Thank you for allowing me to discover the extraordinary heart hidden behind ordinary moments. Thank you because now I understand why they never spoke about themselves. They were too busy protecting everyone else. Those words brought peace unlike anything they had experienced before. My beloved child, continue protecting the light I have placed within your heart. Continue walking with integrity even when misunderstanding surrounds you. Continue choosing compassion instead of resentment. Never believe your quiet goodness has been overlooked. The story your soulmate accidentally overheard has already transformed them forever, but one final chapter still remains. There is one hidden promise connected to your past that has never been spoken aloud, a promise that shaped every sacrifice, every act of kindness, and every difficult decision you quietly made. When your soulmate uncovers that final promise, they will realize the secret conversation they overheard was never the greatest revelation. It was only the doorway leading toward the greatest truth of all. And when that final truth is finally revealed, my beloved child, they will understand that your greatest strength was never simply surviving life's hardest seasons. Your greatest strength was that through every disappointment, every hidden burden, and every misunderstood moment, you refused to let the darkness around you change the goodness that lived within your heart. That realization will become the ending of this journey and the beginning of a completely new way your soulmate sees love, sacrifice, trust, and the extraordinary beauty of a soul that quietly chose light every single day. Don't scroll, listen to this because this message is for you. Your heart needs this right now. If these words have stayed with your heart until this final chapter, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so you never miss another message created to bring hope, peace, and encouragement into your life. My beloved child, everything your soulmate accidentally overheard has led to this final moment. They have spent days uncovering pieces of a story they were never supposed to know. Every conversation revealed another hidden sacrifice. Every memory uncovered another reason to admire your heart. But there was still one final truth waiting quietly in the background, and when it finally came into the light, it answered every remaining question they had carried. Someone who had known you for many years looked directly at your soulmate and quietly said, the reason they never told anyone the whole story wasn't because they were ashamed. It was because they made a promise that they would never allow their pain to become someone else's burden. Those simple words completely silenced the room. Your soulmate felt tears immediately fill their eyes because suddenly everything finally made sense. They understood why you never defended yourself when people misunderstood you. They understood why you smiled through difficult seasons. They understood why you always found strength to encourage others while quietly carrying your own struggles. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, your greatest secret was never hidden because you wanted attention. It remained hidden because your love for others was greater than your desire to be understood. As your soulmate quietly walked away from that conversation, every memory they had of you returned one final time. They remembered your kindness, but now they knew where it came from. They remembered your patience, but now they understood what it had cost you. They remembered your gentle words, but now they realized those words had often been spoken while your own heart needed comfort the most. They whispered your name softly before saying through tears, I thought I knew them, but I only knew the part they allowed the world to see. My beloved child, that realization humbled them more deeply than anything else they had experienced. For the first time, they stopped looking at your life through the lens of appearances and began seeing it through the lens of truth. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because your soulmate finally understood that the conversation they overheard was not an accident within this story. It became the answer to prayers they did not even know they had been praying. For so long they had asked me to show them whether genuine people still existed. They searched for honesty, loyalty, compassion, and quiet strength, never realizing they had already encountered those qualities through you. They simply had not recognized them yet. Now they understood that your character had answered every question their heart had carried. They no longer needed another sign. They no longer needed another test. Your life itself had become the answer. Listen to this because this message is for you. My beloved child, while your soulmate has been transformed by discovering your hidden story, I have also been watching your own journey from the very beginning. There were nights when you questioned whether choosing peace instead of proving yourself had been the right decision. There were moments when misunderstanding surrounded you, yet you continued choosing kindness instead of resentment. You wondered whether anyone would ever truly understand why you remained silent. I want you to know that every unseen sacrifice mattered. Every quiet act of forgiveness mattered. Every decision to protect another person's heart instead of defending your own reputation mattered. Nothing given in genuine love has ever been wasted. As another evening quietly settled across the sky, your soulmate sat alone beneath the stars. They no longer carried regret alone. They carried gratitude. Gratitude that truth reached them before it was too late to become a wiser person. Gratitude that your quiet example had changed them without ever asking for recognition. Gratitude that they had been given the opportunity to see your heart beyond appearances. They closed their eyes and whispered one final prayer. Thank you for allowing me to hear what I was never supposed to hear. Without that moment, I would have lived the rest of my life misunderstanding one of the strongest and kindest hearts I have ever known. My beloved child, this is where the journey reaches its conclusion. The greatest miracle in this story was never the hidden conversation. It was the transformation that truth created afterward. Your soulmate no longer measures people by assumptions. They measure them by consistent character. They no longer rush toward conclusions before understanding someone's story. They listen more carefully. They judge less quickly. They have learned that the strongest souls often carry the heaviest burdens while smiling the brightest. Most importantly, they have learned that genuine love is never built upon appearances, rumors, or incomplete stories. It is built upon trust, patience, honesty, compassion, humility, and the willingness to understand another heart before making a final judgment. Don't scroll, your heart needs this right now because I want to leave you with one final reminder, my beloved child. Never regret choosing kindness simply because someone misunderstood your intentions. Never regret protecting your integrity even when nobody noticed. Never regret remaining honest in a world that often rewards appearances over authenticity. The people who are meant to recognize your heart will eventually see what has always been there. Character may remain hidden for a season, but truth always finds its moment to shine. As this message comes to its end, remember this above everything else. Your soulmate did not fall to their knees because they discovered a shocking secret. They broke down because they finally discovered the extraordinary heart that had quietly existed before them all along. They realized that the greatest treasure was never the secret itself. The greatest treasure was the person who carried that secret with humility, grace, unwavering compassion, and a love that refused to become bitter despite every reason it could have. And that, my beloved child, is the ending of this story. The hidden truth has now been revealed. Fear has been replaced with understanding. Assumptions have been replaced with wisdom. Silence has been replaced with gratitude. And two hearts have been forever changed by the simple realization that the most beautiful souls are often the ones whose greatest sacrifices remain unseen until the perfect moment finally brings them into the light.